going on? This is Her Digital Empire with me, Erika Belvin, and my husband, Jesse Belvin.
Yeah, yo! I just wanted a radio voice.
Before we get started, do not forget to subscribe on iTunes, and while you're at it, give us 5 stars. We would totally appreciate that. Do not forget to subscribe. We'll be going into a few different things today. We're going to be talking about design, digital marketing, how I even got into it. So you can understand kind of like where I'm coming from. Are you even listening to me? Why do I know what I know, right? I'm not just one of those fake gurus. Why I even did this, and maybe this can help you with why you are doing this. By just listening, sometimes, even for me, like watching fictional characters, and talking about, or just watching them succeed and listening to their whys is even motivating for me sometimes. Really gets me off of, my ass so that I can go and take over the world. As well as just seeing other people when you're sacrificing, you're in that boring place, right? Because you're making so many sacrifices to make something happen. Sometimes you need to see other people doing the same thing. So it's not all sunshines and rainbows. As well as we're going to be talking about, Etsy, what's going on with Etsy, new updates, what's even going on with us. We're actually releasing an Etsy shop, which is actually completely has to do with you, so you'll want to listen to that. Another thing, reselling. We're going to go over some reselling issues. I've been noticing a surge of reselling since really COVID started. I don't know why there are people out there who think that they are designers, who are using, template applications, and stuff like that. But we're going to go over that, why that's not good, and why that catapulted me into making my new Etsy shop, as well as, just a few other small things. Let's talk about the news. Let's talk about what's going on right now. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. For the first thing really I wanted to get into was, kind of like an introduction to me. I know some of you don't really know me that well. Some of you are in my email lists and things like that. You've gotten little bits of me. I'm not going to go into the whole sob story or anything because that's going to take all day. But yes, I did not come from a situation where, my parents are paying for my college and, this is just something that I decided to do to quit my 9-to-5 or whatever. This was actually done, well, first of all, this was actually something I stumbled upon. So something that I was even talking to Jesse, you about the other day was, it's funny how you see somebody like me who I am now making, I don't know, upwards of $50,000 a month right now, doing this. This is my 3rd year in, and it's insane because you think wow, how is that even happening 3 years in? And the thing is, you don't see all the things that I did that didn't work in the beginning. In my husband and my even 2nd year of marriage, really that's when I started really trying things. Okay. So, I've always kind of been a really, motivated person. I've always wanted to get rich. That's something that I've always kind of had in my head. But things haven't always worked, right? So me and my husband's background is actually an MLM. Now, was that all I did? No. I have always been kind of like a bartender. I've always had certain side hustles and things like that. The MLM is really what got me to step out of the bartending and be able to kind of see a glimpse of that passive full-time income, and really understand, what that's like, and the type of books I needed to be reading, and people that I needed to be around, the type of conversations I needed to be having. Whereas we had a whole bunch of really frustrating situations with MLM, there was also a lot of teaching for us in that. And for me, myself, I really, learned how to not rely on other people's, I guess, opinions of me. Because before I was even an MLM, I kind of started myself with like yes men, yes people who were just always gung-ho about me and my attitude. I was young. I was in my early 20s. It was very rare to see somebody like me who was, I was all about business and I wanted a business and to succeed. I had started my own nonprofit on top of working 2 jobs. And this was all really geared, it was really motivated because of my family. I had a really rough childhood. My family went from, being middle class, okay, to just going to straight poverty overnight. And I'm not talking poverty like, we couldn't go out and buy clothes when we wanted. I'm talking about like we were living in hotels. So, we're homeless. Obviously the things with our family was not always great. The relationships weren't great because of it. It was really just kind of like eye-opening for me because I went from being comfortable to all of a sudden not being comfortable. So it created this really like craziness for me where I saw what it was really like to be extremely uncomfortable. I never wanted to be that broke ever again. I became kind of obsessed with like working 2 jobs, trying to figure out how to have that money in my account. That was great for me. I was able to save money. I had a savings. But something would come along like an emergency, and then I would see that savings go away, and I learned like, okay, this is obviously not how you get rich. You do not get rich by saving. So I started trying things. I learned from a book that I had read that you don't focus on the saving, you focus on the income. You focus on growing the income, the passive income, the money that you're making when you're not focused on that thing. That is what's going to create wealth. So that's what I really focused on. And that's what got me into MLM. And, I ended up meeting my husband there. Not even worth really talking about the MLM part. I like to move past it. I'd say the only reason I was even in MLM was to meet my husband because I met my soulmate, and that was wonderful.
Hi.
But after that, my husband was actually the one he continued on with MLM, and I became something that I'd never become before because I was such a go-getter and I was such a hustler. I became the wife, and that was hard for me too. So I had gotten pregnant with him, I had my child, and I was the mother and the wife, and I was no longer this go-getter, bad, chick. So that was really hard for me. It caused an identity crisis for me. I wanted to find something that I did by myself, so I started a mom blog. Started doing the whole mom blog thing. Even that, I had a little bit of success, a little bit quicker than a lot of people. I was getting things sent to us. Like I remember a really nice like $400 what is it called, the feeding seat that the kids eat in, right? That was sent to me. I had people paying me for like affiliate marketing and things like that, but it just wasn't what I was looking for, right? So and on top of that, I hate crafts. I am not that person. Like I just it was like I made like one thing for us and I was bored of it so quickly. So that did not last. And then, can you even name some of the things that I like got into after that? It's like...
Oh man, you did, okay, so I remember the mom blog.
Yeah.
There was like a foodie experiment thing.
Totally.
And it's so funny, I was just checking out the Instagram pages.
Yeah.
And there's straight up like 4 or 5 Instagram business pages.
Know.
I'm like, what the heck is this?
I know. I think I was like a foodie for a minute. I was like making food, like Pinterest recipes.
You did have that Belvin sign that hung up in our
That
place.
was the crafts.
Yeah, that was,
Whatever. Anyway, that didn't work. So after that, my husband was like, oh, what would be so cool if I had a website. And I was like, oh, I know how to build that, and he was like, what? You know how to build websites? And I said, yeah, I kind of learned HTML and stuff when I was like a kid because I really wanted a really cool AIM profile. So I knew I taught myself HTML and I had this really cool AIM profile. Then I learned even more when MySpace came around. And a lot of you are like, and by the way, if you had a cool MySpace profile, you can be a designer if you want to be. But that kind of got me really introduced into the coding and things like that. And anyway, I said, sure, I'll build you a website. So I built my husband a website, and it kind of I don't even know how it got out, but you ended up having a friend who was like, oh, we could really use a website.
Right.
And I think I charged him $100.
Oh, I was like, I thought you were talking about someone else. Yes, $100. Yeah,
$100. I worked really hard in it. I even made them like a free logo and stuff.
They made like $35,000 a year off that site.
I know. I know. And especially with the type of business that they had, it was just like, whoa, that's a lot to...
It was like before weed was legal. It was like it was like a tools for, we were pretty sure it was for...
or something. And that was really cool. And after that, we were like, oh, well, we can try and make money off of this. So we started, charging. And then on top of that, you were also coaching. So we're doing packages together. We're like, you were coaching people on internet marketing because we were really learning that really well.
Yeah.
And just, the stuff I had learned from the mom blog. And I had made money in that. And then, so we were doing packages where I was doing the websites for people. And Jesse was helping them get set up with internet marketing, which was great, We helped people do that as well. And then Jesse had another opportunity with an MLM company, and through some negotiation was able to make that a full-time income. And so on the side, I think I was pulling in like, I don't know, a website a month or something.
Right.
It's like an extra $1,000 a month or something is what I was pulling in for you. And anyway, things went, this is my story, so I'm not going to go into the details with you.
Right.
But he decided to quit his MLM business. We'd already moved out to Connecticut from Arizona. We were living in Arizona at the time. And the next day, decided to just get a job bartending. So I was bartending at this place in Connecticut. It was good money for a bartender. I mean, I think I was serving too. And it quickly became really good money where we didn't even have to worry. But the thing was that I was still unhappy, right? Because the thing is if you're just not meant for the job life, you're just not meant for it. And that's just really where it was at. It had nothing to do with the business itself. I liked my job. I got to drink on the job. I made good money. I, worked with decent people. There was always like the awful people, right? But
you still drink on the job.
Yeah, I still drink on the job. But I still it was just like one of those things where some things gotta give. I've got to figure this out. So what's so funny is while I was doing websites, one of these websites happened to be this woman who, she sold hair extensions, and I really learned about that business, and I was like, wow, this is so cool, and it was one of my favorite websites that I'd ever done, because she let me be creative the way I wanted to be creative. I worked with a lot of men who, it's just, I didn't like their style, it was so boring, it was so corporate, it was so, just, I didn't get to be creative, really. So when I had met this woman, who owned this hair extension company, I was so happy because I got to be glitzy and glammy. I got to bring in glitter and make things look pretty, and it was just so cool. With that, I helped her launch, in fact, not just a hair extension website, but a wholesale website. So we created both. She went on her merry way happy, and, after that, I kind of, forgot about it, kept going with my business, and I had seen how Etsy, I'd heard of Etsy. I'd actually purchased, some stuff from Etsy for my daughter's birthday party, and I, all of a sudden, for some reason, stumbled upon the fact that Etsy sold digital downloads. And I was like, oh my God, you can sell things digitally on Etsy. You don't have to be physical, which I hated the physical thing because I was doing the mom blog thing. So with the mom blog thing, I learned what I didn't want to do, which was that girl stuff, right? Like writing on mugs and stuff. It just was not my thing. So I had put out I wasn't even on Photoshop really yet. I was on Canva. I put out a couple of, or I taught myself how to put out a couple of prints.
Do you remember the first one?
Yeah, West Coast, Best Coast.
Yep.
Yeah.
Guess how many times did it sell?
I think twice.
Are you?
Yeah,
really?
Twice. Yeah.
Oh, I was making a joke. I thought you didn't think it sold. Really?
No, that's still a joke.
True.
Yeah, so, I was like, okay, this is, not working, it's just another thing, and my husband was making fun of me for it. He was like, whatever, Erika.
Still is.
Yeah, just another thing that's not working. And I had remembered my hair extension client and how much I enjoyed working with her. And, you know, I don't know, listened to like some coach or something, like for some free, like, thing, and I don't know, like a download or something. They were like a lead magnet, and she had said, like, choose your clients that you want to work with. And I was so happy with that client that I was like, that's the type of client I want to work with. You know, I'm so curious if they live on Etsy at all. So I looked it up and I found that market on Etsy, and it was just like 2 or 3 people, who aren't even on Etsy anymore. It's so funny, but they had like these pre-made flyers. So I was like, okay, like I can do this. So basically, I looked around, looked at a few flyers, and made my own based off of like the way those looked, right? And I put them out there as pre-mades. And all of a sudden I started selling like crazy. And it wasn't just hair girls, it was lash girls. It was boutique girls, and these girls were wanting more and more and more from me. So it turned out my first month on Etsy, I made $1,000. And I was like, whoa, this works.
Yeah, on the side of your job.
Yes. And then the second month, I think we made like 2,000 or 3,000 or something, and I quit my job. So, you know, that was not the smartest thing. I wouldn't recommend that if you've only made like 3,000 in a month. But I just was like, just so done with it. I was just done with my job. It was a very unique situation. So, you know, then me and Jesse went and we opened up a credit card, and we bought him a computer from Best Buy, put it on the credit card, and he sat across from me on my table. And I remember feeling this feeling in my stomach, like, oh my God, like I really hope I'm making the right decision here. He quickly got a job, I think for like a month, right? Or not even a month, maybe 2 weeks at, it wasn't EOS Fitness, it was another fitness company out there.
Yeah, what was it? I don't remember, but
yeah.
But why? What was the point of that? Cause
I think we weren't positive that Etsy thing was going to work yet.
Yeah.
So you did that, but then I was too busy.
Yeah.
To like have you not come home, so I told you just to quit. So that's when we got the laptop, and you started just hammering people with me. I mean, we did everything. We went in groups. We ended up meeting a girl who owned one of the main hair extension groups. That really helped because she, really pushed me in there, and, you know, with our partnership, that really helped me kind of get out there and kind of get above the noise, because there was a lot of designers. There's always been a lot of designers. So there's a key there is, you want to network, right? And I'm not even going to say that it was the healthiest relationship, right? It definitely wasn't. The girl was always wanting free stuff. She was very selfish, really rude a lot, but for me, it was worth it because, the money that came in every time I posted a post or something, or it got pinned, was just worth it for me. And not to say, like I said, not to say that I didn't cry at night some nights. I mean, there were some nights I got so freaking upset with, the way that I was being treated and stuff, because it's just not my identity to be treated poorly, right? I can tell you that I had some really rough nights, but for me, it was all worth it because, of where I was going. I had this vision of where I was headed. And I'm telling you these things because I'm just being completely open and honest. I've had so many hurdles and so many things that really could have thrown me off. I came from a really, really rough upbringing, and, that's not just something that you are just not lucky and you just move on and you ignore it. I mean, that's ingrained in your brain. Like, there's so many things that you have to overcome when you're mentally dealing with even something as simple as somebody making fun of you publicly, right? And it's all these things that come up and get you so angry or whatever. And so it was things like that I believe, like I said, like, had it been Susie from Colorado that, this who was dealing with this, maybe it wouldn't have hit her as hard. These things were hitting me hard because of who I am. I'm Erika. And because of that, I really had to deal with a lot of the mental anguish, right? But the reason why I'm saying this is because this stuff was worth it for me. This was worth it for me because, you know, I'm in this industry now that pays my bills, that I don't just, you know, make money. I literally now touch people's lives. I make other women money now because whether they're using my work or they hired me as a designer, or you're in my junior varsity class and you're learning how to do graphics. I am literally touching these girls on a daily basis, and it's great because it's still within the industry that has blessed me. I really specialize with the hair industry, you know, but it's just been really great. And all the sacrifices and the things that we really had to do, you know, were worth it, I would say, for the achievements that have come now because of them, you know. Yeah.
What would you say, you know, for anyone listening, like what do you think, because I mean, okay, your story is powerful, right? Okay, so, but like what's driving you? Like what do you think is like the thing that keeps you up at night? Because your work ethic's kind of scary.
Sure. Yeah, I will outwork anybody. I will. If I see a competitor come out with 10 products, I'll put out 30 products the next day. I do not care. Like, I will crush you. Yeah, no, that comes from the want to, I think it comes from, like what I was telling you earlier, how like my childhood was hard and stuff. So we talk about like the why, like where's my why? Well, like I said before, like my family has never really gotten out of the issues that they came, and like I said, there's been a lot. You know, my dad, he lost his job over his own mistakes, and from that, it just kind of turned into a, I don't know, what would you call it, a snowball effect, right?
Sure.
Where things just kind of unraveled to the point where my family lost their home, they lost their cars. They lost my sister. My sister was murdered in 2009. That killed my mother. She like basically died after that. Like she just is not the same anymore. After that, you know, even my brother was never the same. I was going to college I wanted to get my business degree. I dropped out twice. By the way, I wasn't even paying for everything. I had full grants to college, and I let those go.
Yeah.
And it was, I literally just could not mentally sit in class and listen to a teacher talk. It was too much. You know, and like I said, throughout my life, you know, after that, there was even points where I just kept failing and I kept failing and I kept failing. I would try something, and then, like I said before, it's like I would go through these mental things where, like I said, Susie from Colorado, I don't know what she's been through, but it's not what I've been through. So there's these mental blocks that would hit me at some point, and I would stop and have to start over again. And I think maybe that's, I don't even know, even with the mom blog, right? It may have not been a fit, and maybe that's why I failed, but it doesn't matter. The point is that I failed, right? And it may have even been because of those issues that I was dealing with. I'm not really sure. But what I'm saying, though, is that you can be like me. You could be really screwed up inside and have like a rough upbringing and stuff. It's not really, it doesn't mean that you can't make it. It doesn't mean that you can't do it. It doesn't mean that you can't make $1 million. You just have to keep going. Even if you quit 20 times, even if you start over a new thing over and over and over again, if you keep going, you're going to end up finding something that you're going to strike oil, in my opinion. Because if you think about it, right, I hadn't even struck oil with the Etsy thing. I don't know what you would call striking oil. I mean, would it be the first $10,000 a month? That wasn't even until a year in to the business. Yeah. So, you know, I had a whole year of hell, basically, of like I told you, the ridicule, the negative partnerships. I partnered with one of the biggest girls in the entire hair industry, and that woman ended up scamming me. That was hard on me, right? That was really hard on me. Mentally, you know, I kept it private, but it's just these types of things that happen to you, and you can let them destroy you, or you can overcome them. But the thing is, it's kind of like, I'm trying to think like a good metaphor, but every chink in your armor, you know, everything that you do, it's just making you better for the next time. So it's like, because of that stuff, things roll off of me quicker now. So we may have bigger problems now, right? We have a corporation, we have taxes, we have to spend more money. We, you know, the laws, the business license, I mean, the things that we need that are so much bigger, that were so much over my head. Figuring out payroll, that was like stressful. I mean, these types of problems, I don't know if I would have been able to handle when I first started all this. And it's all those things in the beginning that really make you tough for the future, so that you can handle all that. I mean, even right now with COVID, that could have knocked us out. It could have knocked us out, but it did the opposite for us. And I do not believe that's like because of the business that we chose. I believe it's us.
Yeah.
And I
got out of bed a little earlier. Went to bed a little later.
Heck yeah. We went to bed a little later.
Yeah.
Got in a survival mode for a minute, even though there was plenty of money in the account. Doesn't matter. It's time to get to work, right? It's just we think of things differently because of that, right? So even now, there's things that are going on in the world that are just so insane, and it's draining. It's hard to be able to focus. But for me, like, the way that I really respond to like what's going on in the world right now, for instance, is I work. I've always been that person who, when I'm stressed out by something, or if something's like really like just hurting me inside, I will just work. I will just focus on work. That's all I do. Mm-hmm. So I think that's maybe why I needed to do that. And what's crazy too is, like, we just came back from Vegas after a few days, right? I couldn't even get away from work in Vegas. Like, I still had to like work. Yeah. Yeah,
there's a little work in there. Yeah.
So it's just been insane. And COVID has just been driving me nuts. I mean, just not being able to do the simple things that you should be able to do, right? Even in your business, not being able to call the IRS.
That's, yes.
Like, what the heck?
If you deal with any products from China.
Oh my God.
forget about it.
I wanted to test a few products from Alibaba, and literally for like less than £1 to ship was like $147 just for test items. Yeah. I was like, are you kidding me right now? Like, this is just insane. Like, this literally puts my plans on hold, Yeah. But it's how you overcome these problems that really, is the deciding factor in what you're going to end up making, right? In my opinion. But yeah, I just really wanted to kind of like go into all that a little bit, just because I've actually been so inspired by the movies we've been watching, and the stories we've been seeing online, the people who are just overcoming like crazy right now. And I said, you know what, I'm going to talk a little bit about overcoming and my why, and why I'm working so hard, because so many different people, so many different girls even that I see, you guys are having such a hard time with your businesses right now, and it's actually good. It's a blessing in disguise that you're having these problems. The only way it could be bad is if you end up quitting from it.
Yep.
So take what you have right now, and take the pain and the anger and everything that you have going on right now, whether it's about what's going on in the world, or whether it's COVID, or whether it's your business and it's just not where you want it to be, and take the anger and just use it, and get in a problem solving mode. Think about, well, what can I do right now? Rather than what can't be done, focus on, well, what can be done right now, right? I know right now you probably need to get a photo shoot done. You can't do that. Why can't you do that? Because of COVID. Okay, well, what can be done right now, right? And just kind of hold on to that. So, again, sacrifices, they're just, to me, sacrifices are dollar bills. They're going to turn into dollar bills if you keep really hustling and making it happen. So speaking of that, I wanted to talk about hustling and what people think is hustling. So we were talking a little bit about how I really got my start in Etsy, and how I got my start as a graphic designer. And sure, I did not go to school. I did not. In fact, that's one of my big things I say in my courses. The reason why I'm so unique with my courses is because I'm not teaching you what you would be taught in a Photoshop class. I'm teaching you as a self-taught person what I know, which in my opinion, because you're self-taught because you're taking my course, it's actually a great fit, right? If you're taking one of my courses. So the problem is a lot of people like to cut corners, and this is what I call hustling. I am not a hustler. I will not hustle for nickels. That's just not who I am. That's not who me and Jesse have ever been. We've always, when we've done something, when we put something together like a business, we really put our all into it, and it comes from a good place. It doesn't come from a place of need, because you need to figure out how you're going to pay for McDonald's that day. So you're going to hustle somebody out of $5 for a logo. You know what I mean? So I want to talk about that for a minute, because it's something that really makes me angry about the industry that I'm in, and this is in every industry. It's not just the beauty industry. I mean, I see this in the wedding industry. I see this in
e-commerce.
I see this everywhere. This is something that happens everywhere. It's these people who think, oh, I'm just going to drop ship. I'm just going to resell somebody else's work, and I'm going to make an extra $25 off of it, and then everybody wins, right? Well, everybody doesn't win. Your clients don't win, the person that you're stealing from doesn't win, and you don't win. Because all you're doing is getting comfortable with a platform that you're not allowed to use anyway.
Right. And to be fair, there's a difference, in my opinion, between just your standard drop shipping and some of the reselling, because drop shipping, everybody does kind of
For
win.
sure, as well as outsourcing it. There's a difference between outsourcing and reselling.
So if you're a drop shipper, this isn't necessarily directed towards you. If you're reselling somebody else's work, this might be directed
more specifically, for instance, and I'm not the only one who is in my industry on Etsy. There's probably like 3 or 4 other main girls who are on Etsy, and I see their work being sold all the time in groups. I see their messages on their listings. I see this everywhere. I'm seeing these girls who are taking a $10 logo I sell, which is DIY. I make it $10 so it can be affordable for those of you who are just starting a business, because I feel that you should not have to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to get started in a business. You should start from where you're at, and that's why I put together the $10 logos, okay? Because not everybody needs to trademark a logo right away. Some people need to make the capital first, and that's why a $10 logo, DIY logo that looks good makes sense, right? So, going past that, that does not mean that it's $10 so that somebody who has no idea how to design can buy it for $10 and sell it for $25 to an unknowing poor victim.
Oh, yeah, or 10 times for $5.
Like, not okay.
Yeah.
So I haven't gotten to the point where I'm blasting people, but I'm a moody person, so you never know. So here's the thing, if you're somebody who's doing this right now, just stop. The best thing to do is buy Photoshop for $10 a month and invest in my Photoshop business, my Photoshop university, which is it's her digital university, but right now it says Possibility University because we're doing a rebrand. But it's to actually learn Photoshop. Okay, right. I am not trying to destroy your possibilities of becoming a great graphic designer. I really do hope that you do become one, but you have to become a graphic designer first, right? So you can easily charge whatever the heck you want to charge, $10, $15, whatever the heck for a logo, but at least do it the right way. If you want to focus on Photoshop, you're welcome to. If you actually want to learn Illustrator and stuff, there's plenty of courses out there right now where you can actually learn Illustrator or learn how to create logos yourself. But it's not even just logos. I mean, I'm talking labels. Sure. I'm talking, product labels. I am talking flyers. I am seeing all this stuff being resold, and it's just so baffling. And it's funny too, because it's like, I can understand the argument, Erika, why are you so upset? We buy the logo from you and then we sell it at our price. That has nothing to do with you. Here's my problem with it. My clients come to me because I'm affordable. These are designed to be affordable. They're not designed to be $30 logos, $40 logos, $50 logos, $100 logos, to be resold by you, and then you use them multiple times. See, my clients who abuse this privilege, they don't just buy one of my logos once and then give it to one customer and then sell it, and then buy it again. You don't ever buy it again. You use it several times. So it's definitely time to stop because, I mean, I think I've shut down, I don't know, like 5 or 6 different accounts today.
Just today, yeah.
And, you know, it's just, I'm getting sick of it. And people are they're going to start getting blasted is what's going to happen.
Now's their
So what we've done to really help you, you know, obviously you need to learn Photoshop, but we have actually designed a new Etsy store that only has Photoshop templates that you can use and make your own, and they come with licenses that are available that you either buy a one-time lifetime license for that item, or you can buy it every time you use it, or you can buy it for like 25 different clients. I've got all sorts of different licenses for you so that you don't have to keep, you know, hoping that I don't shut down your account. And you can actually do this legally and feel good about it, you know. And this goes as well with my university. It is just so much better not to do things the wrong way, because then you're just gonna be starting over. Like I was saying earlier, how I had to start over and over and over again because, you know, things would happen. You don't want that to be part of your story, that, oh gosh, got shut down again because I was illegally reselling. Like, don't do that, you know. And it goes past that, by the way. It's actually illegal. So I you know, I'm working with a business attorney now, and I can't wait to get some of my cease and desists and stuff like that out. But and it does get as serious as that, and I do have addresses every time somebody makes a purchase. So just be aware of that. But understand that you shouldn't even be doing it from the beginning. It just doesn't make sense. I think it's sleazy. I think it's like slimy.
Especially when you're like your group, junior varsity, like if anything, that's cost you money.
Exactly.
And to teach other people how to do what you do. So if it's not only a slap to the face because you've helped like hundreds of women like learn Photoshop, so they no longer need you.
Sure.
But then it's like these people, when they could just go do that for cheap because it's like $20 a month, instead they're like even trying to cut an additional corner by not even going and doing that, which is also kind of cutting a corner, learning from you, right? And then it's just like, and then they're like, oh my gosh, what? You're like closing down my account. It's like, well yeah, because like this is my design. This is how I make my money. And you should just learn how to do it the right way.
Oh, yeah. Why not try to learn how to do it the right way?
Right.
What would that be like? What would a world look like if we were all just trying to do things the right way?
And for those of you that are, like I said, are drop shippers, it would be like, this isn't really possible, but like it would be like if you purchased like something from Walmart, right? We all know Walmart's a company a lot of drop shippers use, right? Like you're selling on Amazon. But it'd be like purchasing a vacuum cleaner and like being able to somehow clone that vacuum cleaner from your house and then like never needing Walmart again for that vacuum cleaner and like continuing to mass produce those vacuums for your Amazon account. Like that's not realistic, obviously, but that's essentially what they're trying to do. They're trying, I'm going to buy this cheap design, which is taking advantage. It's like those are inexpensive to help women on a budget. And then like saying, I'm going to abuse it by like making my own dollar and kind of jacking up the price a little bit. And hopefully, you know, Susie from Colorado doesn't go to Erika's Etsy shop and realize she just got duped.
Right.
And it's just
like, I'm actually doing you a favor by not allowing this. Like, imagine your client coming to you after a month and saying, why is my design on Etsy?
Right.
And then we have a whole new problem.
For $10.
Yes. Then we have a whole new problem. So, you know, it's just, in my opinion, don't do it. It's not respected. It's really not. You're just hustling. And at that point, like, there's so many, I mean, you might as well be on the road trying to sell gum. Like, on the side of the road. I mean, it's hustling, you know? And, you know, besides that, I really just wanted to explain really why its Etsy shop is so good for those who want to be, you know, respected designers who make good money. You're never going to make 6 figures selling $10 logos. So it's time to, you know, become better than that.
Become bigger, better, think bigger. You know, like the Hercules cartoon. You don't want to be the guy like opens up his coat. And he's got all the sundials. That's like back in the Greek days, but like, the sundials. He's like, hey, want to buy a sundial? Like, you don't want to be that person in graphic design. Like, just learn the skill.
No. And it's funny too. It's like they say like that the design industry is saturated and stuff. I mean, they say this about everything, but who knows who knows when it comes to imagine like you actually decide to tap into that creativity that you have, and you end up being better than me. You end up being better than what's out there right now, and you're suppressing that right now because you're just trying to hustle and make a quick buck. And it's just stop doing that. Actually get out there and learn your craft and make your own style and get your raving fans, get your clients that love you. Your business is waiting for you to do that. So again, I am so willing to help. I am all about solutions, not focusing on the problems, which is why I created this store, this shop that's got ready-made templates and things like that, so you don't have to worry so much about, oh my gosh, am I doing this right? That's why I have to buy these templates, because I'm not sure if I'm doing it right. Well, let's get it done right. And then, of course, I also have my...
What's that store called, by the way?
Her Digital Market.
Yes, Her Digital Market.
So that's available for you, okay? So, with that, I really just wanted to kind of get all this out there. I know I've been talking for a minute, and you're probably like, oh my God, I'm sick of you. So I'm going to wrap this up before I get too far into it. But yes, please, if you can, do not forget to subscribe. We love coming out with these podcasts where you learn and grow and become a great graphic designer or a great businesswoman or whatever the heck you're trying to be. So with that, I will go ahead and close this out. I will see you on the next one.